Hey guys, this is Elliot Akintunde, and I'm going to show you how to do computer programming on just an iPad. And so what do I mean when I say computer programming on an iPad? I don't just mean little fake tutorials. I mean that by the end of this video, you'll have your own website up and running on the internet that your friends can go to and access. And it's actually really easy to do. And the magic that makes this possible is this thing called cloud computing. And so cloud computing has totally revolutionized computer science in the last few years. And it's actually how people do computer science now. Like people at Google and Facebook, the tools I'm teaching you are the types of tools that people are learning right now in order to get jobs at the tech companies. And it's actually really easy to do. Like if you've never used a desktop and you've never seen that stuff before, then it's actually easier to learn this because you don't have this pre-programmed old way of doing stuff. And so you might be wondering okay, what is cloud computing? It's this fancy word that I've heard being thrown around a lot, but what does it mean? So cloud computing is actually really simple at its most basic level. Basically, all cloud computing means is that, instead of writing a computer program on your iPad, so you can pretend oh, this is code, this is a little computer program, and then I run it and it turns into a little application. Well, instead of doing that, basically you're just using the internet to connect to Google's computer, right here. And then what you're doing is you basically are just using your iPad as almost like a little video game controller, where your iPad is used to control this Google computer and to interact with it. And so there's still a computer that's running the code. It's just, it's not your computer. It's like a computer way off in this building with hundreds of thousands of computers. And then you're just using the internet to access the computer. Okay, so you might be wondering, what type of big fancy stuff do I need to download on my iPad? What do I need to hack to get this working? Well, good news, you don't need to download anything. As long as you have an internet browser, so Safari or Firefox or Chrome, that's all you need. And then you just do all your work online. So I'm going to use Chrome. You can use whatever you want. It doesn't matter. So then you have to go to the website where you do all this cloud computing. And getting there is really easy. I mean, it's just Google Cloud will probably pull it up, I'm guessing. Let's see. Yeah, the second thing, Google Cloud. And then it's just cloud.google.com. All right, and so then you click try it for free. And then here is where you create your Google Cloud account. And so just like how you create a YouTube account or how you create a Gmail account, you create a Google Cloud account. And so you just type in your email, and then you have to give your address, you have to give your credit card. Don't worry, you get $300 free, which is more than enough money for getting started and the type of stuff that you'll be doing. And you can use that for a year. That will definitely last you a year. You can change the settings so that you won't be using any of your own money. And yeah, it's not something you have to worry about. Google is not going to steal your credit card information or well, they already know your Gmail account, so you don't have to worry about them stealing that. And so once you sign in, I already have an account, so I can't sign in again. But pretty sure you can figure out, how to do that on your own. Then you will come to a page. Yours will look a little different than this. Your first time signing in, it will probably say something like, "Congratulations, you just created a Gmail account," or sorry, a cloud computing account, and can start coding. And then it will automatically create a project where you can start doing your work in. So I think it'll be called My First Project on your computer as well. So right here you see this thing called My First Project, and you can just click that, and well, I'm already in the project. So probably when you click it, you'll see something like this that will say Home. Oh, and then also right above that, upper left hand, you can see it says, oh, you have well, it will say $300 for you when you just create it, and then 365 days where you can use this account. And then from here, we can start to run the code to, create the website that, I promised you guys. So in the upper right-hand corner now, next to where you see the little guy, you see this button that kind of looks, well, I don't know what it looks like really, but what it does is it pulls up the terminal. And then you see this kind of random thing come up at the bottom of your screen. So this is a terminal. This is what people use to program like way, way, way back in the day. Like not just before iPads, but like before a mouse and before a desktop. Like people wrote code in this thing, and all you had was a keyboard and, just text that would come back to you. And that was the cutting edge of computation. And that's what we're using right now to run this thing. So we're not going to build a program from scratch. We're going to cheat a little. I'm going to go here, and we're basically going to follow the Google tutorial for launching a program. And for that, probably App Engine Node.js Google Quick Start. We Google that. Wait for it to load, and then right here, click this link. And basically, we're following this tutorial. If you know a thing or two about computer science, you can read this and it'll hopefully make sense. For our case, don't worry about that. We're basically just going to be copying code. So you see this git clone right here. You copy this line. Copy. You go back to your terminal, and we're going to run that line. And then I'm going to show you something. You don't just have to use this super old school interface. Oh, and so this part's kind of tricky. You have to be super exact about where you click in order to actually get to the spot where you can type code. Actually, when I do coding, I don't use this thing because it's just really annoying to use. Actually, let me well, actually, here, I'll show you this thing. I click this little thing in the thing that looks like a pen icon. It'll bring up this other spot. So this brings up the terminal, and it'll also bring up a file system, which is the thing you see above the terminal. And so what's the file system? I mean, that's just like, the file system that you're used to on your iPad. So, it's just this guy, but it's this guy for Google's cloud computer. All right, so for this file thing, we are basically going to install the basic setup. So that command from earlier, I just copied and pasted it in, and then run enter, and so that will install all these files. So now if I just do file refresh on this guy, all those files will be there. You see that now all these files appeared. Node.js, I click that. I have all these options, App Engine. I click this. Actually, this is a little hard for me to click. I can, well, I'll just do it here. And then I can go down and you see Hello World. So Hello World is like just the first computer program that you type, regardless of what language or whatever. They always call it Hello World. I guess it's just like a tradition. So we go into that. There's two different versions. We're going to run Hello World Flexible. And they give you code right here. But we're going to just follow the code to type in the tutorial. So we have to get to this location using this like terminal thing. Just because we're clicking it up here doesn't mean we're actually where we are when we run the code. So these are commands. There's only 3 commands, but again, you could just memorize it. I'll explain like exactly what's going on in a later tutorial. But ls, you can see where we are, and we have this like node.js thing, which was this thing at the top. cd means you're going into another directory. We're going to go into the node.js one. So we start doing nod, do tab, and the rest of it appears. Press enter, ls, see what's there. A bunch of stuff. We want to go into App Engine, so cd space App Engine, ls. Oh, type something wrong there. Come on. There it is. So then we want to do ls, and then we want to do cd hello world. And as you can see, this thing is kind of glitchy. Like you don't see the bottom of it when you're typing. That's what I mean. And we're going to get something that's better than that soon. And then we do ls again. We have to, yeah, this thing is torture. ls again, cd flexible. Cool. And now we type in those commands that were in the other thing. And I think it's still going to be npm start. So we run that one. Oh no, npm install is the first one. So npm install. You run that one. And so that is basically just getting all your code ready. It's installing all the other things you need to run the code that you see here. And then we are going to run the commands to, basically what we are going to run is the files inside here. And what these files do is they create a website. And it's going to be a very simple website. All the website says is in this app.js file. Again, you don't have to worry too much about what these lines say, but it will just do this thing. It will say send to the person who goes to the website the words hello world. And actually, let's just make it a little more interesting. Instead of saying just hello world, how will it be hello world, you know, I'm Elliot. Oh, I can't do that. I am Elliot Akintunde. Yeah, cool. So we just added a few more sentences, well, a little bit more text there. And then we can go up to File, and we can save it. So we saved the changes that we made. Cool. So now let's go back to this little terminal guy when, you know, we installed those packages that we needed to install. And then we have to get back down to the bottom of this thing. Cool. And then so we, right there, we just type more stuff. What we want to type is, let's just get into there. So we already installed, so then it'll be npm start, I believe. Let's see what the tutorial says. Yeah, it's npm install, npm start, yep, and then we just can deploy it with gcloud app deploy. Cool. So now we run npm run. And so what that does is it runs it locally. And what that means is that you can now see it. If we go here and click this little preview thing and go to 880, we'll see our, oh, got an error there. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, npm run script and then deploy. Oh, I see. They're just saying start. I just do node app.js, or I could just try deploy, which is gcloud app deploy. Let's just try gcloud app deploy. Let's just see. So this, what we're doing is we're making this website public to like the world, basically, by running this command. And so they say it's just gcloud app deploy. Let's see if that's it. gcloud app deploy. Do I want to really deploy? Yes, I do. And now it's deploying it. And it might take a few seconds for this thing to run, but you know, we can check to see if this thing actually gets launched for everyone to see. All right, so it took a little bit of time, but the code finally finished running. Oh, and just, you know, right after you see this command come up, it might take a few seconds longer of running before like the next thing I talk about works. So give it faith. You might have to, you know, go get lunch and come back. But now we have our code up on a website. Oh, and then another thing to add is that I forgot to do it here, but you saw the only thing I had to click after I did like the run command was like Y. There might be one command you have to do before that, which is like you'll say like, hey, choose a zone, and you do like there'll be a list of things 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 numbers are different zones. Just do like click 1 and enter. That's all you have to type is 1 and enter. And then another thing, do you want to continue? Yes. And then it comes to here. And you see, they tell you where to go for the website in this stuff. You're gonna have to get used to reading like really weird looking, old school typing stuff. And so here we see, updating service, setting traffic, and coming down to deployed service default to https daringstudio 204.501.appspot.com. So that will say something different to you. That will be a different website for you. But basically, you just go to that location and you will see the website you created. So we go to, what was that? 201. Okay, I didn't. Oh, Daring. Yeah, and then it comes up. I went to it a few seconds ago. So Daring Studio 204. Go to that location and hello world, I am Elliot Akintunde. And there you go. That's how you create your first website. All right, guys, I hope you liked the video. Can't wait to make more of them for you to watch. Later.